Police Command confirms kidnap of NPC Federal Commissioner in Ogbakiri. Authorities silent as number of missing persons rise in Bever State. Police confirms murder of another man in Dio Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt residents speak on malaria vaccine as World Max Malaria Day. On the foreign scene, ceasefire between Army and RSF in Sudan appears to hold. I am Kala Dakuru Batbor. Remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of any nation. Let peace reign. Good afternoon. The River State Police Public Relations Officer, Grace Iringe-Koko, has confirmed the kidnap of the Federal Commissioner for Bayelsa State at the National Population Commission, Gloria Zonfo. Iringe-Koko said the kidnap of Zonfo along with her maid and driver took place at Ogbakiri Junction on the East-West Road. The NPC Commissioner was reportedly on her way back to Port Harcourt from Brass, Bayelsa State, where she serves as Federal Commissioner when her vehicle was set up by the kidnappers. Moving on. The River State Government and the State Police Command are yet to speak on the increasing cases of missing persons in the state. In the last weeks, there has been an increasing number of photos of missing persons circulating online. So far, it has been reported in Igruta and Eka Ingpo in Rumolumeni, Odili Road and Malthridio, Port Harcourt. Recently, 25-year-old interior designer Chukwuebuka Julius was last seen 7 days ago. His elder brother, Ejike Julius, tells correspondent Ibi Ruwari that his brother left his home at Rumolumeni last Tuesday for a job around Wimpy.
I am appealing with the general public and the government, the Commissioner of Police, they should please assist. Because one, he's not a bad guy and he has never involved in anything crime or criminal before. Whoever that can at least lead to recovering him back, he should do. Please, that is what I have to say. Okay, my mom, my dad is late. It's just my mom. She has been devastated. So I've been trying all means to calm her down, giving her hope. But I believe that he will come back alive.
Also, his sister, Chinomso, said the incident has left the family, especially the mother, devastated.
As a family, we are so in pain. Even my mother, I have tried all I could. She's getting down because both of them have been living together. It's as if she's not seen it. All she has have gone. Please, I want to plead to the general and the government. Please, they should assist in one way or the other. They can help us to find her so that my mom can come back to her normal person that she is, because she's in a serious pain. As I'm talking to you, she has been crying all day for her child.
His boss, Prestige Ikechi, also spoke on this.
From the story, when I interacted with his apprentice, the apprentice said they went for a job at Wimpy, and then Ebuka received a call that he should come and take measurements somewhere in Choba. That was the last time he saw him, that he went to Choba. That while he was on his way, that he even called him to ask him money for material. And he said he should use his own money to purchase the materials, and when he returns, was going to give him back. So that was the last time he heard from him, and that was the last time he saw him.
Meanwhile, another young man was found dead yesterday in Mile 1 Dio Port Harcourt. His body was discovered around Okuzu, Lumumba Street in the morning. Eyewitnesses say suspected corpses shot him and fled the scene. The police have not named the victim, but it was gathered that his relatives have been informed of his death. The police spokesperson in the state, Grace Iringe-Koko, says the incident is being investigated. It comes hours after the police revealed that a man who was attacked by armed men along Olabuchi Street in Dio Port Harcourt on Saturday night has died in the hospital. The man was taken to the hospital by a Good Samaritan after he fell and sustained severe injuries while being chased by 3 gunmen. Eyewitnesses say his attackers drove past and shot him multiple times. Our correspondent reports that police patrol vans have been stationed around the scene of the incident. Many have linked the killings to a supremacy and territorial control battle between 2 factions of a cult group. The crisis broke out at Elichi Beach, Mile 1, Port Harcourt, 9 days ago. On his part, the leader of a local vigilante group known as Job Security Service, Amatari Bipilade, blamed security agencies for the rising crime in Job Axis.
It is glaring to the ears that these persons have not been brought to book. till today. What is really giving these boys this temerity? What is really giving them this audacity? In a security architecture that is well built, these boys cannot come and destroy the security architecture of the day, and nothing has been done till now. So Job is a heartbeat, and any problem that you cannot resolve in Job, automatically you are trying to grant the activities of River State. That is just the plain truth. The state government and the security agencies should concentrate on it to see how these activities should be quenched once and for all.
He said criminals now operate with impunity.
We are also informed that people were robbed in Lumumba axis where their phones were collected. People, houses have been bounced, house to house, door to door, which I foresaw. And that was why I told them that if they don't do anything, it will get to a stage where these same persons will use this as another way of getting their livelihood, and which it is happening today. Now they have deviated from cultism. Now it's armed robbery, snatching of phones. The other time at Emenike, they still killed somebody, a taxi driver. Last night, they still killed somebody at Okozo by Lumumba. I don't know whether the cops have been removed. The cops were still there.
In the meantime, residents of Diob are worried about their safety despite the police presence. Some Diob residents who spoke to our correspondent called on the state government to urgently intervene before the situation spreads to other parts of the state. Still on this, as primary and secondary schools in Rivers State begin the third term academic session today after the holidays, some Port Harcourt residents are calling on the Rivers State government not to allow school children to be exposed to the rising cases of killings and kidnappings in the state. They urge the state government to keep schools safe and secure.
A lot of people are kidnapped along Ahoda, Rumuji, Port Harcourt road. Let government position people there. Police, they road. These boys, they are still hijacking people. A lot of students will be falling victim. Every day, people will be going to school, Port Harcourt to Ahoda. Uniform, many people, even travelers.
We need more securities, and then we ourselves, we should be careful in terms of late night movement.
At least make sure there are securities in the East-West Road, not police. Some checkpoint should be army checkpoint.
If it is not affecting them today, tomorrow it may affect them. Today is for the poor, tomorrow it may be for them. The rate of kidnapping is too high. Even some of us don't go out again, so it's not good. Government need to put more measure, more hands to make sure that the kidnapping issue in Nigeria is settled.
Rivers State Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Michael Oga, has reiterated the commitment of the command to fighting the menace of oil theft and illegal dealings in petroleum products in the state. The command's PRO, Ayodele Olufemi, spoke on behalf of the state commandant in response to the allegations that he chased foreign guests out of his office.
There were no intention or action that depicts or that shows abuse of office or chasing the foreign journalist out of the commandant's office. Neither is there any intention of the command to frustrate the federal government campaign against oil theft and illegal oil bunkering in the state. The command has always been in the forefront in the fight against oil theft in Rivers State, most especially as the responsibility and mandate is in the hand of the NSCDC, who remains the lead agency in safeguarding all critical national assets and infrastructure in Rivers State.
Oga also assured that his office is open to the public.
The command is a public environment, and the office of the commandant is open to everyone, except there are exigencies of duty or emergencies beyond our control. There is no way a visitor will come to the office of the commandant and will be denied access, because the command is a public environment and we attend to people from time to time.
As the rainy season intensifies, a biogeographer and an environmental manager in Rivers State, Dr. Otiasa Christian, says proper study of the environment, maintenance of drainages, and sensitization of residents of flood-prone areas will help curb flooding in the state. Dr. Otiasa said this while speaking to our correspondent.
Identify new lands, disseminate this information and the prediction by NIMET and NISA to the people involved. Channels are not constructed properly where it ought to be constructed. It is not maintained, so over time debris is put into those channels and it changes the shape of that channel. It prevents it from carrying the targeted volume of water that it was intended for. Local governments should mobilize themselves and their citizens to be able to desilt these channels. The state government should mobilize itself and give contractors to desilt where where the channels are not adequate, the states and the affected areas can construct new channels to be able to move water and reduce flooding.
Dr. Otiasa charged the River State government not to be nonchalant in the provision of relief materials to flood victims. The environmentalists also called for the construction of new dams to address the troubling effects of flooding in the country.
The government of Nigeria must take practical steps to build dams. Next things that will be able to absorb from even the surges, the ocean surges and overflows, together with the released waters from the Lago Dam, so that we can harvest water for different things. Water can be harvested for electricity, can be harvested for irrigation, agriculture, can be harvested for recreation. If you go to Abuja, the Jabi Lake you see is an artificial lake. We can do something like this and enhance recreation and tourism, so that instead of the destructive effect of flooding, we are turning into a money-creating thing.
It's time to go for a quick break, but still ahead, evacuation of over 2,000 Nigerians to begin today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now to the rest of the newscast. Today is World Malaria Day, and a professor of public health parasitology, Dennis Aribodo, says there is a need to closely monitor the safety of the newly approved malaria vaccine in Nigeria. As you may know, Nigeria recently became the second country after Ghana to approve the Aru 21 Matrix MTM malaria vaccine. In an interview with correspondent Honora Aninwobodo, Professor Aribodo of the Nnamdi Azikiwe University Awka said the vaccine will reduce the mortality rate of malaria, particularly in children.
Finally, we have a malaria vaccine, which is basically for children 5 months to 3 years. So, assuming that this particular age bracket is taken care of, it is a positive development. But beyond the children that are under 5 years of age, malaria also ravages other children and, of course, the adult population. There should be adequate pharmacovigilance to monitor the reactions that may follow it. Of course, it has been tested and passed through clinical trials of them, but it is now being deployed in a bigger platform.
The professor of public health parasitology also urged the federal government to emulate Algeria by adopting domestic funding to eradicate malaria.
I expect government, all the state governments should to muster what I call the political will to drive malaria out of their states, not of Nigeria, because malaria can be eliminated. If Algeria, which is also another country, can be certified malaria free, why not Nigeria? And what has Algeria done different that Nigeria is not doing? What Algeria did was that Algeria funded their malaria control interventions 100% through domestic funding. They didn't rely on foreign partners, foreign donors like Nigeria does. Trained the personnel, sensitized the people, motivated them, and they were rewarded with malaria elimination in 2020.
Some Port Harcourt residents also spoke about the malaria vaccine.
Government need to do something. If they have their facility, they have the health ministers, health commissioners, a set committee that will look over it. And this committee will not be a political body. The committee should always come from the health body. So these are the people that can know what to do to make sure that this issue of malaria is settled once and for all.
Malaria cannot go. No matter the treatment you give to it, will come at the actual time. Even with the vaccine. So anyhow you do it, it will still come back. Best way is for you to prevent it.
Individual need to keep the environment clean, clear the bush, gutter, make sure say gutter the water they flow, drainage. At the chemical where they use wash toilet, say let me carry the kill mosquito where there for soccer pit to apply that into to help the society.
Nigeria has Africa's highest malaria death rate with an estimated 100 million malaria cases and over 300,000 deaths recorded annually. The RO21 vaccine developed by the university's theme for the World Malaria Day is Time to Deliver Zero Malaria, Invest, Innovate and Implement. The National Emergency Management Agency has confirmed plans to evacuate over 2,000 Nigerians in crisis-hit Sudan today. This came on a day management of a local airline expressed its willingness to evacuate Nigerians stranded in Sudan free of charge. Yesterday, the chairman and CEO of Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri-Arewa, encouraged Nigerian students in a war-torn country to remain in their universities to avert danger. In business, the President Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, Mr. Adeshina Adedayo, has commended the federal government on the plan to deploy the $800 million World Bank palliative grant on vulnerable individuals. He called on the government to focus on economic development. In entertainment, Canadian actor Nian Von Cloutier has passed away at a young age after undergoing surgery to look like K-pop superband BTS. Saint Von Cloutier died at a South Korean hospital on Sunday morning after complications because of cosmetic surgeries he had a few months ago. In sport, former Tottenham Hotspur boss Mauricio Pochettino is on the brink of being named Chelsea manager after negotiations between both parties at the final stage. Reports say rounds of talks have been held between the two sides and are now set by agreement to see the Argentine take charge at Stamford Bridge.
Now we bring you news from the world.
A ceasefire in Sudan appears to be holding after taking effect at midnight local time. It is the fourth attempt to stop the fighting, which began on 15th April with previous truces not observed. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said a 74-hour truce had been agreed between the army and the paramilitary rapid support forces after 48 hours of negotiations. On the news this afternoon, you heard Rivers State Police Command has confirmed the kidnap of NPC Federal Commissioner in Ogbakiri. Authorities are still silent as the number of missing persons rise in Rivers State. The police have confirmed the murder of another man in Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt residents have spoken on the malaria vaccine as the world marks Malaria Day. On the foreign scene, ceasefire between Army and RSF in Sudan appears to be holding. The news was edited by Onyekachi Nwosu. Partly sunny weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Peace is the path to the prosperity of any nation. Let peace reign. I am Kala Dakuru Batubo. Good afternoon and do stay tuned. Constance Mega is up next with Sunnyside. Stay tuned. Good afternoon.